All right. Yeah, I got to keep you all on your toes, keep you moving around here. So it's been good. Great day today, and another great group of Tigers on the way for us. Always special. Signing day is always special because, you know, a group of young men have chosen to come be a part of your program. And I'm really thankful for all these guys, thankful for all their families. You know, it was a blast to be able to get back out on the road this year. Obviously, hadn't been out since January of 20, so almost 2 years since I've had the opportunity to get out on the road. So it was fun to be able to go see everyone in their environment. This is my 13th class, and another dandy dozen, you know, and kind of a baker's dozen with B.T. Potter recommitting to another year with the Tigers. So really excited about this group. Just came from the graduation brunch, you know, and ultimately that's what it's all about. As I always say, you know, till graduation do we part. I mean, it's pretty cool to see so many guys that have changed their lives through graduation. And it never gets old seeing these guys and be able to put that stash over them, or sash, whatever it's called. Is it a sash? Is that what it is? Be able to put that over their shoulders. Really cool moment. And tomorrow will be a great day for a lot of these families. I think we're going to have close right at 30 graduates that started the season with us on this roster. So just really proud of all them. I know as the first college graduate in my family, what a life-changing experience, you know, that is. So, you know, really proud of our guys. And again, we've got a super talented team coming back next year for 2022. And so to be able to add this group is going to be really helpful for us. It's going to be a great addition, especially with the mid-years being able to get here in January. So as y'all know, and put out all the bio stuff, you know, 12 signees, 9 of them mid-years, 7 different states, 5 guys in South Carolina. It was really awesome to be able to you know, have a great group in South Carolina and get the best players from this state to stay home and play here at Clemson. So just a great group of young men. Again, great group of families, 6 guys on offense, 4 on defense, and 2 really good specialists. So again, it's an exciting day, but recruiting's still rolling. I mean, obviously there's 2 signing periods. There's another signing period in February, and we'll certainly be adding some pieces to the puzzle between now and then. Have another day to kind of complete this class. But all in all, I mean, another excellent group. Again, 13 years in a row. Just really proud of our staff and how we've built this program, evaluated, developed, and produced a lot of successful great men through what we do here at Clemson football. So really appreciate the staff and the job that they've done, you know, heading up the effort. So with that, I'll take your questions.
With 12 now, how many more would you like to add in February? Do you kind of have a target?
Yeah, we've got, you know, we know what our needs are. I mean, we definitely need a running back. I think you got to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. We need a back. We need a corner. We need a safety. We'd like to get at least 1 on each side. Probably need another linebacker. That's probably the biggest needs for us. And, you know, depending on what happens on our current roster as far as, you know, defensive line, you know, we'll hopefully we'll add a guy on the D line as well. But, you know, again, we're in a pretty good spot there. And unless we got some guys that we anticipate coming back aren't back. So it's fluid. And I mean, it's not like it used to be where you can, you know, what you say in December could be totally different 3 weeks from now in January. But those are our critical needs at this point, and feel good about, you know, where we are at the other positions.
Dabo, do you anticipate signing anyone else in the early signing period?
Not necessarily. You know, anything's possible. I think we got 3 days, so I mean it could happen, but it's not something that I anticipate right now.
And Adam Randall, I know you'll probably move them around different spots. Where do you anticipate them starting out at the wide receiver spot?
Yeah, I think there are 3 guys that can really play anywhere, but, you know, we'll have to get them here, and both of them, Adam will be a mid-year, Antonio will come in the summer, but, getting them here and really assessing where they are. I think obviously Adam is a big physical guy that can, handle himself in the boundary, but he's got all the skills he needs to play to the field or in the slot. He can really do all of them. And then Antonio's the same way. I mean, he's most likely just body type will be a 2 and 5 man for us. But as far as, where he ends up, when it's all said and done, those guys most of the time cross-train and play multiple spots. But he's a returner. He can do it all. And it's kind of wild. Again, both of them have the exact same birthday. So pretty cool that I had two great receivers born to come to Clemson on the same day. So dynamic. Both of them are very dynamic. I mean, Adams played quarterback, wildcat. I mean, he's done a little bit of everything. So anticipate those guys being able to, bring a very diverse skill set to the position.
Is it too crazy early to ask you how many you might be thinking of signing in the 23 class, like ballpark wise?
Oh yeah. You can't do that anymore either. Not for a couple more years because, even then, unless there's some change, it'll be difficult. But with the COVID year, I mean, you just don't know. It's hard to go to a young man right now and say, hey, can you tell me what you're going to be thinking, 14 months from now or whatever. That's just not real feasible. And I'm committed to the kids here. Always have been. So, we'll figure it out. We can have a kind of a working base, and then obviously your roster could change, your current roster, and that could change the number. But it's really, really difficult for anybody to predict what you're going to sign in the class of 23. So it's really kind of a month-to-month type of deal based on your current situation. And again, the COVID, there's no way to predict who's going to want that extra year. Like for example, BT, he walks in my office yesterday and says, "You got a scholarship for me to come back?" Yeah. So who is that next year? And maybe and we didn't have a big group this year. So who is that next year though? I mean, we have it's a challenge for us in 23 because we got a little different roster makeup, and I can't predict who's going to want to have that extra year. So it's makes it challenging, and it's hard for them to make it. You can't ask them to make a decision that far in advance when they have no idea what their circumstances are going to be at that time.
Along the same lines, I think you said maybe XT could hopefully come back. I guess I was under the assumption that he was leaving.
Yeah, I'm just saying anything could happen. I mean, he certainly could come back. He hasn't said anything officially. KJ could come back, and so anything could happen between now and the bowl game. I'm going to save him a spot just in case.
You and Brandon went out to Texas to watch Cade play. I'd love to know, what did you guys say to each other when you were watching him, and then when you got in the car after the game was over?
Yeah, he's special.
Just your thoughts.
He's special. I mean, he's magic. It's just kind of what I see. I mean, he reminds me so much of Deshaun. Just his traits, his attributes as a quarterback, even his frame and his build. Coming out of high school, very similar. Cade's faster probably than Deshaun, but very, very similar skill sets. Man, just a great presence. But the biggest thing is, I mean, this guy's out there playing in front of 30,000+ people at Texas Stadium there, and probably going to play in front of 50,000 this weekend. And he just has an unbelievable poise and presence and command. And he's been, he's so blessed. I mean, to be able to be in an environment like that. I mean, it looks like college teams out there. The way the programs are run, and Texas high school football it's pretty unique. And then Todd Dodge, I mean, this guy is a great football coach. And I mean, you're talking about Drew Brees and Nick Foles and Ellinger and several other guys. I mean, he's one of the best high school coaches ever in our country, and he's also been an excellent college coach. So he just has he's been very fortunate to be in the situation that he's been in, and then he's forced into being a starter. Kind of got the job there as a sophomore, and now he's going for 3 state championships in a row. He's a winner. He's a big time winner, And you know, you're watching those two teams take the field last week, and these are two great teams. This was the 4th round. Last week was the 5th round. This is the 6th round state championship. So it's a high level of football, and so he's just real well prepared. But his skill set incredibly accurate. Can extend, can create. And just has a great feel for where everyone is on the field. He's a good one. There's a reason why he's the #1 guy in the country. He's proven that. He's earned that. Every competitive environment that he's gone to, he's risen to the top. So super exciting to have another guy, coming in here of that caliber.
Capable of, I mean, in the past you said you never really know until you see him here, but do you think right now he's capable of pushing for the starting job?
Yeah, I'd say the same thing that I've always said. I mean, you don't ever know where they are until you get them here. You start coaching them, how they transition, away from home. The game's different, physicality, but we're gonna be pretty blessed, to have the 2 quarterbacks. There's very few programs in the country that's gonna have 2 quarterbacks like DJ and Cade, and it's gonna be a great situation for us, and excited to see everybody elevate this spring when we get a little healthier, get these mid-years in here, get these linemen in here, get Adam in here, get these DBs in here. It's going to be a big shot in the arm for us.
If Will Taylor will still rep quarterback, or do you plan?
No, he'll move to wideout. Yeah, he's full-time wideout. We were able to do what we wanted to do, and we were kind of in that process of really kind of transitioning him more and getting ready to take off with him. And obviously, he got hurt there, right out of the gate. I guess that was the second play of the 5th game that he got hurt. So, but yeah, he'll move into the receiver room full time, and we actually did that the last half of the season. We moved him on in there and got started with that process once he got hurt. But he'll always be that guy for us if we need it. So it was a good plan.
There plans to dole out maybe a scholarship to Hunter, Billy?
Oh, definitely. We're gonna sign Hunter and Billy Wiles for sure. We can't go find 2 guys, better than those 2 guys. Both of them were Division I offered guys. Billy was committed to Tulane and just wanted to come chase a dream to come to Clemson. And same thing with Hunter. Man, he had plenty of opportunities, scholarship opportunities, and man, those guys are very important. So we got to keep those guys for sure. So both of those guys will be on scholarship.
Any other players right now that you can say that maybe earned a scholarship going into next year?
No. We always have some guys that we put on from like January to August every year because you have gaps in your roster, guys that aren't coming till summer. So we always try to get to 85, and that was one of the good rules they passed a few years ago where you could actually put a guy on like for a semester and try to help some of these guys. But we'll do that, and then we always wait till the fall, and you got a guy like Carson Donnelly or somebody like that's been a valuable special teams guy, or some of our specialists. Jack Maddox has earned every bit of his scholarship the time that he's been here, and we've got a couple guys that'll be battling for that spot. So, those are things we wait till we get to fall and kind of see where our roster is.
Going back to BT, obviously Robert tore his ACL.
Yep.
So how big is that now you can just kind of bring him along? There's no rush in him.
Yeah,
and
it's
you've
great.
got a guy.
It's great, and Robert's gonna be fine. I saw him, had lunch with him a couple weeks ago. He looks great. He's doing very well. And we went through this with Greg Hugel, and he came back stronger than ever. So got some experience with that, unfortunately, but he's going to do great. But this is awesome for him because it's not just the going out there and being the guy, but it's how you handle yourself throughout the week, because it's a different routine and all those things. So I think BT will be a great mentor for him as he starts his career. So it's exciting, and that'll start in January because Robert will be here in January. But he is a super talented kicker, man. He ain't very big. It just blows my mind how explosive his power is. This kid, the ball just explodes off his foot. So really, a guy that we got all these guys in from all over the country, and it was pretty cool to see him when all the smoke settled. I mean, he was the guy.
Dabo, what do you like about your two offensive line signees, and kind of where do you think they?
Yeah, they're physically ready, both of them. I mean, physically, be hard to find guys that look like them. So they're advanced physically. We'll see where they are mentally. Both have been very well coached, and we've had them both in camp, so we have a very good understanding of who they are. But they're tough. They're physical. They love football. They're passionate about everything that goes into to being a good football player at that position, especially. Going to be roommates. So super excited about adding those two guys. I think two great additions to go along with, Tristan redshirted, Linthicum redshirted, Dietrich redshirted. I think Dietrich might have had a chance to compete for a job had he not got hurt. So getting him back, that's a pretty good little group of young linemen that I think have a chance to really help us. But biggest thing is just their physical development at this point. It's pretty impressive in their size.
Will Wade need to put on some weight to play that nickel Sam role?
Say that again?
Will Wade need to put on some weight to play that
Woodaz?
nickel Sam
Oh
role?
yeah. He's I say that, I'm not saying he's Isaiah Simmons, but he's very similar to that coming out of high school. He's probably Isaiah wouldn't want me to say it, but he's probably a little more coordinated than Isaiah was in putting it all together. Isaiah was like a big old giraffe when he rolled in here, and trying to figure it all out, how to get it all together, and red-shirted, and then just kind of kept going from there. This kid's been a quarterback. He is a very versatile guy. He is physical. It's hard to find a guy much more physical, but Isaiah was a safety. He played receiver, Isaiah did, and so he was a good athlete. But they have similar frames. He is a big, long, good-looking young prospect. So his frame, I mean, he'll be a 230-pound guy, pretty quickly as he gets going into the progression of the program. But love everything about this kid. He's got all the attributes that we love, and he's got the physicality. He's playing for a state championship this weekend, coming from a great program, well coached down there at Jesuit.
NIL, it's evolving so fast, and it's kind of hard to predict. But do you have any thoughts here in the present about Clemson and how you might view the long term of how y'all might be thinking of adapting, or just any?
Well, I mean, we're doing everything we can from with the school, but you can't. There's not anything you can really do. It's not all we can do is support our guys. We're building the cab over here, a bunch of resources over here. We've got a lot of things in place from a tool standpoint, education standpoint, and try to do what is equip these guys with the tools they need for life. This is just another part of life. So that's the main things that we can do. But as far as creating NIL, that's not our lane.
Does Antonio's recruitment remind you a little bit of Trenton Simpson in the kind of the late offer and coming in late, but you also had to fight Ole Miss and some legacy ties there? Yeah,
honestly, it reminds me more of Klubnik's recruiting, to be honest with you, because Klubnik, we had offered one kid, and we were waiting on him to see what he did. And Cade knew that. That's one of the things I love about Cade. I mean, this guy's sitting there but we kind of got on him a little later, and we were further down the road with the other young man, and been in our camp, had been here, great player, and we were just further on the road, and we offered him first, and we just really wanted to kind of see what he was going to do, and then but you don't know, and so Street's kind of doing his value when Cade was kind of that guy. And start that process, and very honest, very transparent. That's one of the things I loved about him is he was very honest and upfront. And he's a young man of strong faith. And his mom his mom was amazing. I remember the night before we were going to find out if we were going to get the one kid. I mean, she sent us all a group text talking about, hey, this is all in God's hands, and we're just so thankful to have the opportunity. And you know, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If not, man, what a great experience for everyone. And I mean, and of course, the young man chose the other school, and I was able to make a quick call, and he committed on the spot. Didn't even think about it. This guy's got, you know, 100 offers or whatever. Could go anywhere. But this is really what he wanted to do. And so just transparent, you know, and same thing with Antonio. I think we only offered 5 receivers in the 22 cycle. You know, some schools offer 20, 30. So, you know, we just do things a little bit different because we want to get the right guys, and we got the right guys. You know, I don't ever worry about guys we don't get. I know that's something fans worry about, but we've won a lot of games around here without getting people that we may have wanted. So I just focus on who we get, and because I know that's the way it's supposed to be. I know that's God's will, and that's what excites me. And man, it just was awesome to be able for it to work out for Cade and Antonio. You know, just like it was awesome to work out for Makuba. You know, because that was a unusual situation. And here this kid comes in here and he's defensive rookie of the year in this league. So just the way it's supposed to be.
With Taisun transferring, how does that maybe change the trajectory for Cade, or the importance of kind of getting him a little more acclimated quicker?
Yeah, we'll hit the ground running. So he'll be here January 9th. So about 3 weeks. Hopefully he'll have another third state championship to roll in here. But you know, we'll go finish this season, and then these guys get a little bit of a break. We'll start our off-season program a little earlier than we have the last 6+ years, just because we're finishing earlier. So we'll get that rolling. These guys will go in the off-season. We'll start the progression of teaching and installation and you know, getting the team ready for spring ball, which will start March 1. So yeah, I mean, just jump right in and let's go. You know, DJ will do an amazing job of you know you're gonna have. It's gonna be cool to see that junior version of DJ, and now that he's been that backup, he's been that starter. He's battled through injuries and some success and some disappointment and all those things. He'll by far be the best version of himself, and I'm excited about that. And I don't have any doubt he'll take him under his wing. And same thing with Hunter, same thing with Billy. So we're gonna have 4 good guys out there and get to work.
Coach, of the 3 Greenville County recruits you have, who do you see hit the ground running there and starting off and could be a starter next year?
Shoot, I have no idea. Again, I don't ever predict those things. I've been wrong a lot, you know. So just as soon as you say, man, this guy ought to be able to come in and help us right away, and he shows up and mentally he's just not ready. And then just as soon as you say, no way, this guy's going to be able to help us right away, like a Travis Etienne, because, you know, he's so far away from being a pure running back, so much to learn, man, he shocks you. So you just never know. You never know. I remember James Skowski rolling in here, and I'm thinking for sure he might redshirt. Shoot. He was like fish to water. I mean, he picked it up and played as a true freshman. And a couple other guys that you thought might play, you know, not ready. So you never know. I never really get into that stuff. And sometimes you have to play some guys even before they're ready, just out of necessity. And we've had a couple of occasions of that over the years.
Those Greenville players and then the other players that you have coming from the state, how important is it for you to just have so many talented players here from South Carolina kind of stay home and choose Clemson over other programs? Yeah,
well, you know, this is the recruiting people in this recruiting world. Y'all understand. I mean, this is, you know, this is a great year for us to be able to get 5 guys from the state of South Carolina. Man, that's and not only, I mean, like great players. I mean, these are. I mean, Adam and Antonio and you know, Josh and Jaden and Sadler. I mean, these are dudes now. These are great players that could go really anywhere. And to be able to have those guys here, it's a blessing. And not only have good enough players, but to, you know, have the character, to have the academics, you know, to be the right fit from a need standpoint. All those things. It's great timing for us. as I've said many times, there's more people in Atlanta than the state of South Carolina, right? And so we already have a very small pool. The high school football in the state is excellent. It's incredibly important in this state. The coaching is outstanding. We just have a very small pool. And then you throw in academics and fit and all those things, the pool gets smaller. And then you throw in need, it's not always the right need or timing. So it's really been a great year for us from that. But that's our number one objective every single year. Everything starts inside out. And every single year. That's the way we go about it. And, where we are located, we try to recruit North Carolina and South Carolina and Georgia as if it's one state. That's kind of our mindset as we go about it, and then we go from there.
Put together some pretty good defensive back classes the last few years. Where do these guys, Sherrod and Jaden and Toriano, kind of rank with these classes? Well,
obviously on paper, pretty high, but time will tell. But just being around them, I mean, these are focused guys, and unique. They're very unique in their own way. I mean, Jaden is fast and he is long. I can't wait to see him spend some time with Batson and the boys in that weight room, and over here with Hallie and Paul and nutrition and all that. I mean, he is AJ Terrell-ish, from a body type, maybe a little longer than AJ. And everybody looks for guys like that, and they're hard to find. But he's got all the tools. I mean, he's special on paper. I mean, and then Toriano is put together. And he's a different type player. I mean, he could play three positions easily. He can slide in and play that nickel in a heartbeat. He can play either corner. He's played at a high level, of football. He's been incredibly well coached at his school there, and just has his dad was a college player, and he's just kind of been really developed so well over the years. He's got a great presence and confidence to him, but he truly is a great leader right now. Like the day he shows up here, Toriano will be one of the best leaders on this team. Easy to see that. He's been a leader in this class and super talented. And then Koval's the same way. And Koval just won a state championship as well. This is what a safety should look like when you watch this guy play and you watch him run, you watch him tackle. He's a very, very good player coming from a great program that's had, a ton of guys over the years up there in Virginia. So, I mean, I think we knocked it out of the park. We need to get at least probably one more safety and maybe one more corner, between now and February. If we can do that, then I think we'll be in good shape with the group that we have, because we love these guys coming back. I mean, you see what we've signed with Nate. Nate's got a chance to be a great one. And then you got all these guys that got a lot of experience this year and did a really good job. And then Mike Reed, it's the first time in a long time to have two corners from the same school be the first team all-conference corners in Mario and Booth. So really proud of the job Reed has done, with that group.
There's legislation to maybe move early signing day up to January. Your thoughts on that, and is that going to help if they do that, or how's it? What do you thought?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I do think there should be an early signing period, regardless of when it is. I think it's. I mean, there's a lot of kids that would sign, right when you offer them, when they commit. To be honest with you, but I haven't heard that. But I know they're kind of redoing the whole Constitution, if you will. So I have no idea what'll come out of it, but. I still think there will be an early signing period. I think most sports have that. I think we were one of the only ones not to have it. I actually would have preferred it to be earlier. There's complications there, but I felt like there was easy ways to do it there too. Because if a coach left, I'm like, okay, well, if a kid was signed in August, for example, and a coach left, then they can be out of it and either reaffirm or go somewhere else or go recruiting again, whatever. So I think you'd have to protect the players if you did it earlier, but pushing it back to January a few weeks, I mean, whatever.
So you talked about getting the best player regardless of whether it's the portal or high school. You talk about these positions you still need to recruit. You simultaneously recruit both, or is it you peg those for high school kids?
We same thing. I mean, the portal, that's a never-ending deal. I mean, we evaluate that every single day, and we've looked at a lot of kids, but again, it's got to be the right fit for us, and it's got to be somebody that most of the kids in the portal are guys that aren't playing where they are, and there's some obviously exceptions to that, but. We feel good about our roster where we are right now, and we're certainly going to, start with the high school player, and if we have a gap at a certain position from maybe a youth standpoint or injury standpoint, then we'll keep all options open. But that's not just now; that's all the way really till May, because the portal's open for business till May 1. So that could be something we have to deal with all the way till then.
You talked about the 12 out of the 12, 9 are coming mid-year. Who are the 3 that aren't coming?
Antonio, Sapp, and who was the other one? Woodaz. That's who it was. Woodaz.
But with the offensive linemen, do you feel like that you guys signed? Do you feel like they can play with a good nastiness and attitude?
Yeah. Watch that tape. It won't take you long to see that. They're 2 finishers, man. That's one thing that jumps out if you watch their tape. It won't take you long to see their love of playing, their passion of playing the position, and their physicality. That's one of the reasons we fell in love with them.
Is Cade similar to Deshaun in that he needs to add some?
Oh, yeah. I think Deshaun came in here he was probably like 182 maybe when he got here, and he was 200 in August. He was 199 or right at 200 at when we weighed in August. So he really had a transformation from January to August, and I think he left here about 215 plus. And Cade's definitely, Cade I think will be a little bigger. He'll probably be in that 84, 85 range, probably where he'll show up. So yeah, I think you'll see a similar progression between January and August, just from filling out a little bit.
Going back to mentioning the in-state kids that you're able to sign, I guess what was different about this class where you were able to offer and then get them in here?
Well, this is just a unique year that we were able to offer multiple guys. We really haven't been able to offer a lot of guys. So this was a year where there were several offerable young men in our state. And it just worked out well for us that we were a good fit for them.
Any other questions in the room before we go to Zoom?
Walk-ons in the state, can you talk about any of the walk-ons?
Oh, the walk-ons?
2 guys from the
Yeah, we're gonna sign all those guys in February. In our second signing period, we'll announce all of our preferred walk-on guys and talk about them then.
Any questions for Coach from anybody virtually? Anything else from anybody in the room? All right, thank you.
All right, let's go.